formats, new context-aware filters, and that's in addition to better 5G, smaller notches, adaptive 120Hz refresh rates, next generation A15 silicon, and all the other leaks already swirling around the iPhone 13 or iPhone 12s, iPhone Mother of Dragons, iPhone The Dark Knight Notches, or whatever Apple decides to call the next set of iPhones coming our way in, holy wow, just a few weeks now. 2020 felt like it took forever, and now 2020 Junior is going by in the blink of an eye. But sometime in the next 4 to 6 weeks, Tim Cook is gonna take over our streams and our screens and good morning yoke fresh new iPhones into our brainstems. And according to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, those fresh new iPhones will include at least three fresh new videography features. First up, portrait mode video, or what he says Apple is internally calling cinematic video, a term Apple's previously applied to stabilization, keeping video looking smooth and steady. But now it'll be just to make all the backgrounds all the blurry. And it won't be the first time that a company has done blurry background video. Samsung tried it a few years ago with kind of mixed results. And I'm sure some of you are already just furiously typing away to tell me Nokia actually invented it back in 1812. And good for them, because depth of field, bokeh, is just one of those traditional camera things that big old lenses have always done, and tiny camera phone lenses could just never, not ever compete with, not on the physics at least. But instead of big sensor or big glass, Apple's once again turning to big compute, throwing just their silicon at it. And that was originally using dual camera systems to derive some semblance of depth data from the small differences between the two cameras. And then segmentation masking, which just means using machine learning to try to separate the subject from the background and then blur the background. And of course, Apple insisted on doing that in real time in the viewfinder with zero shutter lag. So what you saw was what you shot. And this was so computationally expensive at the time, it would redline an iPhone 7. But as Apple improved their silicon, they were able to add lens models to produce more realistic bokeh, dynamic aperture, so you could adjust the amount of bokeh even after you took the shot. And now, thanks to LiDAR on the iPhone 12 Pro, which collects just so much more better depth data, even night mode in portrait mode. But they still didn't have the raw processing power they needed to apply depth effects to 4K 30, much less 4K 60 frames per second of video. Not even a 1080p sounds like. Not well enough to ship it until now. Which is why some of us still use big old traditional cameras for our A-roll, which is just the talking head stuff, and B-roll, which is the glamour shots of people and products and more. Because as much as the iPhone is already used in specialty productions, if Apple can really nail computational lens effects in video, or even just start nailing it, it'll be one less reason to lug the big camera kits around, at least for more stuff, because we'd still need it for the big zooms. ProRes is the name for a family of high-quality video codecs that Apple uses in Final Cut Pro, and some cinema cameras like Arri and Blackmagic, and accessories like Atomos and sound devices record to directly. They currently vary in resolution up to 8K, and in quality from various levels of lossy compression all the way up to ProRes RAW. So ProRes is legit gorgeous, and it's a dream to edit with, but it's also so hella thirsty. Like, take up all of your drive space and ask for more hella thirsty. And that means it'll be super interesting, really an open question as to